I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord's Passover.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K. down in Florida. I'm Captain of 10,000 Shamoy Yalo. We here to let you know the 53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida. It's going down in South Florida, Cocoa Beach.
Friday, April 15th, 2022.
The lamb, the wine, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, you understand? Good music, good weather, palm trees, the whole nine.
This is going to be glorious. Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
April 15th and the 16th. Don't just book for the 15th. Book for the 15th and the 16th.
It's going down Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
Moses told Pharaoh we need 3 days to be able to go out into the wilderness and serve our power the way he commands. You're going to have to get that off with your boss, with your slave master. So make sure you in the building. Cocoa Beach, Florida, April 15th to 16th, 2022. It's going down. We'll see y'all there. Shalom.
Black power, 144,000. I'm just trying to make 144,000. 144,000. It's not about the money, it's the principle. Gotta watch who you revere, who you listen to. I speak the Eastern soul, my flow medicinal. And I buried the old man, now I'm invincible. Gotta be wise in judgment, it's critical. Either couple with this brotherhood or you'll get ridiculed. The greatest man, the greatest servant, I kill for who I minister to. And I'm going war, nigga, win or lose. Hey, I was forged from the fire, torn from the liar. If hand join in hand, you'll get caught up in the crossfire. Become a casualty of chance. I'm in my stance, still in hand, ready to swing it like a lance. If the enemy advance, I'ma enhance. Had the benefit of the doubt, he never had a chance. Hey, this the shit that they beg for, that burned down the wicked Judge Dredd flow. Bitch, I am the law. Y'all faced it, prepared for war.
I'm gon' war till the day I'm done. Number one till the day I'm done. I'ma grind till the day is done. I'ma war till the day I'm done. They can't stop me. Nothing new up under the sun. I'm gon' war till the day I'm done. Number one till the day I'm done. I'ma grind till the day is done. I'ma war till the day I'm done. They can't stop me. Nothing new up under the sun.
I see what they say. Never envy a carnal man. Claim they real, they actions don't match what they saying. I got the upper hand, what you don't understand, youngin'. I'd rather bleed than concede, now they're saying something. These niggas cunning, they want my power, they never take it from me. Hey, for that money, I heard you insisted. They can't go out like that, they'll have to 86 me.
Shalom, y'all, Bashim Yahweh Barakatham to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemaralathan, Bashim Yahweh to all the sisters. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And we've been teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth of the Bible since 1969. And the truth of the Bible is that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites that the Bible speaks about. And we must keep God's commandments to get this oppressor from off of our neck. To separate from our oppressor is biblical, man. In feast days, in the days that they celebrate, we should separate from our oppressors, man. We should separate from our oppressors in the things that they believe in the such as Valentines days, Christmas, Easter. All of those are not ordained by the Most High, man. The days that are ordained by the Most High, you will find in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, things like Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The Feast of First Fruits, things like that is what the Lord ordained blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to do, man, to keep the Sabbath day, right? And we do, and we don't keep these things here, right? And you know what day coming up is Valentine's Day, man. That's a day that's coming up, and that the world is gonna celebrate. But the I.S.U.P.K is not going to keep that. Why? Because the Lord said so, man. And all blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans must not. They must not keep that day. They shouldn't keep that day. Why? Because it's not their culture, man. It's not their culture. It's not of their power to keep that day. It's actually worshiping another God. And the Most High said He's a jealous God. The Most High said He's a jealous God. Give me 1 second. Jeez, man, what's going on here? All these distractions. All right, there we go. Now we good. Right, and the Most High said He's a jealous God. And things that and today we're going to get into the history of Valentine's Day, the history of Valentine's Day, where it comes from, the history of the hearts, the history of Cupid, the history of these other gods, man, and busting down these altars, man, of these gods and these other nations, man. And that's what the Lord ordained us to do, and the Lord told us to do. All right, man, let's get into it. Let's go ahead. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get some. We're gonna get an article. We're gonna get some. Dig into some history. What I want. Here we go. It says, oh man. It says the origins of Valentine's Day, a pagan festival in February. Yeah. All right. A pagan festival in February, right? It says, while some believe that Valentine's Day is celebrated in the middle of February to commemorate the anniversary of Valentine's Day's death, right? Because another misunderstanding is that Valentine's Day is the commemoration of a man named Saint Valentines, right? That from the Catholic Church that that they crucified him or that they put him to death, right? At around that day of February 14th, which is also true, but it's not it's not the commemoration of that day. Just like all pagan days, they want to mix in other days they want to mix in their pagan celebrations in with days of anniversaries and things like that to make it seem not so pagan, right? The same thing they did with Christmas. They want to take the birth of Yahushua, right? And they want to talk about it's on that day, so it wouldn't be such a change for the pagans, right? To change into Christianity, right? It says, while some believe that Valentine's Day is celebrated in the middle of February to commemorate the anniversary of Valentine's death or burial, which probably occurred around 270 A.D. Others claim that the Christian Church may have decided to place St. Valentine's feast day in the middle of February in an effort to Christianize the pagan celebration of Lupercalia. It said they tried to Christianize the pagan celebration of Lupercalia, right? Just like I was just talking about that what would you call it, about that trying to mix pagan days with days with new days so they can not make it such a transition for the pagans to worship Christianity, right? It says Lupercalia. It says celebrated at the Ides of February or February 15th. Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Phanes, the Roman god of agriculture, as well as the Roman founders Romulus and Remus. Slovakia. So what they're saying is it's a fertility, it's a worship of the fertility god, right? Now let's get the definition of fertility, right? One second. All right, it says fertility. the quality of being fertile, productiveness, right? I want the second definition. It says the ability to conceive children or younglings, right? To conceive children. So that's what Lupercalia is the celebration of. So it's a celebration of being fertile, right? Of being able to bear children, right? That's why women are it's like another day for a woman to be celebrated, right? Because there they go again, want to give all the credit to the women for bearing children. Oh, they want to worship the woman. Salaki. Right, and it also has to do with Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome. Let's go ahead and get into Lupercalia. Get there. It's taking so long. It says Lupercalia was an ancient pagan festival held each year in Rome in the February 15th. Although Valentine's Day shares its name with a matron Christian saint, some historians believe the holiday is actually an offshoot of Lupercalia, unlike Valentine's Day. However, Lupercalia was a bloody, violent, and sexually charged celebration awash with animal sacrifice, random matchmaking, and coupling in the hopes of warding off evil spirits and infertility. Remember, we was just talking about that fertility god that Lupercalia worships. So what it's saying, I want to go back up to this part. It says Lupercalia was a bloody, violent, and sexually charged celebration awash with animal sacrifice. Right? So it was bloody and sexually charged, just like Valentine's Day today. This Valentine's Day, there's gonna be women sleeping around with different men, trying to get Valentine's Day, trying to get gifts from different men, and brothers are gonna be fighting over women. It's gonna be bloody. And then women are going to be sleeping around with different men, and men are going to be sleeping around with different women. Just like Valentine, so that's a spirit that's on Valentine's Day. That's a demon that's on Valentine's Day, is the demon of lust. That's what's on Valentine's Day that's going around, and it's been going around for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. All right? It says Romulus and Remus. It says Lupercalia has been traced back as far as the 6th century BC. Right? According to the Roman legend, the ancient king Amulus ordered Romulus and Remus, his twin nephews and founders of Rome, to be thrown into the Tiber River to be drowned, and in retribution for their mother's broken vow of celibacy. Right? So there was a king named Amulus, right? And he had a sister. And she broke her celibacy and slept with one of the neighboring villages men and got pregnant with twins, right? So then the Roman king went crazy and threw both of the twins in the river. He ordered his maid servants to throw both of the kids in the river. It says a servant took pity on them, however, and placed them inside. Took pity on them and placed them inside a basket on the river instead. The river god carried the river. Placed the river god. That's what the river is called. The river is called God. The river god carried the basket and the brothers downriver to a wild fig tree, where it became in the branches. The brothers were then rescued and cared for by a she-wolf. So it said the brothers was rescued and cared for by a she-wolf, which is it's nonsense. If a wolf sees a child, sees a baby, babies in so like if they see a baby in the basket, they'll go more than likely eat the baby, not take care of the baby. But it's going to tell you, it told you that give mysticism to Rome and Romulus and Remus and all that, right? But I'm about to tell you the truth in just a second. He said, brother was cared for by a she-wolf in a den at the base of the Palestine hill, where Rome was founded. Right? It says the twins were later adopted by a shepherd and his wife and learned their father's trade. Right? So now we know what really happened. The shepherd and his wife found the two boys and they cared for them. Right? It says and they learned their father's trade after killing the uncle who'd ordered their death. So then the shepherd found out what happened and went back and killed the uncle. Right? It says after the uncle who after killing the uncle who ordered the death, they found the cave den of the she-wolf who nurtured them and named it Lupercal. Right? So they went back to the slave den, or they went to the den where they found a cave, right? And they named it Lupercal. Right? That's where they started doing animal sacrifices and things like that there. It says I.S.U.P.K Lupercalia took place to honor the she-wolf and please the Roman fertility god Lupercus. It says ritual sacrifice. Lupercalia rituals took place in a few places. Lupercal Cave on Palestine Hill and within the Roman open-air public meeting place called Comitium. That's where they get the word commitment from. Right? Because that's where all the Roman people would meet on Lupercalia, and they'll go have sex with each other's wives, and there's a big massive orgy in what was it called, in Comitium. So that's where they get the word commitment from. Right? The festival began at Lupercal Cave with the sacrifice of one or more male goats and a representation of sexuality, right? So they'll start having sex at the cave after they sacrifice the goat, and then they'll go down all the way down to Comitium, taking women, literally like snatching up women and taking them to Comitium so they can rape them. That's what they would do. Where we at? It says a representation of sexuality and a dog, right? So they used to have sex with animals also back then. That would be part of the ritual. So the sacrifices were performed by Luperci, a group of Roman priests. Afterwards, the foreheads of the two naked Luperci were smeared with the animal's blood. Using the bloody sacrificial knife, the blood was then removed with a piece of milk-soaked wool, and the Luperci laughed. Right, because they were naked priests, right? Just like the wild men, right? They're wild men, so they were naked priests, right? And they would be having sex with each other. Two men would be having sex with each other, so it'd be a big orgy with men, women, everybody just having sex with each other in Comitium. Yeah, we got to get this. It says Feast of Leprechaun, right? It says in ancient Rome, the feasting began after the ritual sacrifice. When the feast of Luperci was over, the Luperci cut strips, also called thongs, and februa of goat hide from the newly sacrificed goats. So they'll make thongs out of the goat skins, right? It says they then ran naked or nearly naked around Palatine, whipping any woman with striking distance with the thongs. During Lupercalia, the men randomly chose a woman's name from a jar to be coupled with them for the duration of the festival. It says often the couple stayed together a couple of days. Often the couple stayed together a couple of days having sexual intercourse. Right? Don't that sound like what would you call it? Valentine's Day now? where everybody I remember in school they used to pass out Valentines, talking about be my Valentine, right? Whoever you liked, whatever you go pass them the Valentines, you go pass them, give them a Valentine, right? Don't that sound like picking a name out of a jar so you be coupled with, right? Having and they said it'd just be strictly for sex, and the sexual festation that will be over a couple of days, and then they'll swap women or they'll swap men because men was having sex with men back then also. I got a couple of scriptures. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 7. What is it? Let me see. We're going to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 5. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 5. Get everybody says the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 5. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 5. But thus shall ye deal with them. Right? Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. Right? And that's what you see us doing now. We're burning the altars of Valentine's Day out of the world. We're burning the altars of Christmas, New Year's. Right? We're burning these altars down, the altars of Thanksgiving. We're burning these altars down. Right? And we said break down their images. We're breaking down the image of Caesar Borgia. We're breaking down that image. Right? Because that image don't do nothing but destroy and hurt and destroy and hurt our people. So we breaking down those images now. Those images are going to be no more when Yahweh Shah Mashiach get here, the Black Messiah, it will be no more. It says, verse 5, it says, but thus shall ye, you know what? We're going to start at verse 3. We're going to start at verse 3. It says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Right? So in Valentine's Day, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we know that we have a lust for the other nations, right? That's what we want to do. We want to be like the other nations. So since we're in our state of hell, right? We're at the bottom of the bottom, and since they look like they're at the top having so much fun, we want to mix ourselves with them, have sex with them, and things like that. The Bible just said we shouldn't make marriages with them, right? So this Valentine's Day, don't be celebrating that thing. Talking about it looks so good, it looks so fun, wanting hearts and candies and roses and things like that. Going out there, going to have sex with the other nations, marrying the other nations. Don't do that. Don't do that thing there. That thing is not okay to the Most High. Why? And it's going to, Most High will tell you, verse 4. It says, for they will turn thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. See, because you're gonna get wrapped up into the mysticism and the enchantment of Valentine's Day, right? And you're gonna go marry another nation, go have sex with another nation, and they're gonna be and they're gonna turn you away from following the Most High, and you're gonna be worshiping the god of Lupercalia. That's what you're gonna be doing. We're gonna be worshiping the god of Lupercalia, when we shouldn't be worshiping no other gods, man. We shouldn't be doing that, right? It says that they may serve other gods, because that's how you serve that fertility god, by having sex or having sexual exploitations with people, right? It says, so will my anger of the Lord be kindled against you, right? Because that makes the Most High angry. That makes the Most High angry, and his anger gets kindled. His anger. We anger the Lord in that thing there, and that's why He put other nations above us. That's why we're in hell till this day. That's why we're in slavery till this day, because we want to go do what the other nations do. Right? It says, and destroy these suddenly. How are you going to be destroyed? How would you be destroyed? By worshiping other gods. They put drugs in our neighborhood, they destroy us. Right? We worshiping Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, and we think those things are okay. We vote for an oppressor to be over us. Right? We be destroyed, man. We destroyed. We don't even know who we are as a people. We think we black. We think we think we Mexican and Puerto Rican. Right? We think we all these different things that that the Lord did not give us that name. The Lord gave us the name of Yasha, man, Princes of the Power. We think we black and African American and Hispanic. You know what I'm talking about? And Native American. We think we these different things, man. The Lord called you Gad and Seminole and Reuben. The Lord called you Gad and Reuben, Manasseh, Ephraim. You know what I'm talking about? Issachar, Asher, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. That's what the Lord calls us, man. Verse 5, it says, but thus shall ye deal with them, right? Ye shall destroy their altars. That's what we should do with Lupercalia, man. We should destroy that altar, man. We should destroy that. Right? It says, and break down their images, right? Break down that image of Cupid, the little Edomite baby with the bow and arrows. Break down that image. Break down that image of the heart. I'm finna break that down in a minute. Break down that image of the heart, man. Break down that image, man. That image don't mean. That image is really is nothing, man. Those images don't mean anything. They can't hurt you. They can't help you. And why is a heart shaped like a heart anyway? A heart isn't shaped like that. That's not what your heart in your chest is shaped like. Why are we gonna break that down too, man? It says, and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. It says, burn their graven images with fire, man. Burn their graven images with fire. They're gonna right now when you go to the store, they got all these hearts and these cupid things and these bow and arrows with the hearts at the end of it. They got all these things at the store right now when you go to the store, trying to enchant you to celebrate what they celebrate, man. That's called enchantment, man. That's called they're putting a spell on us right now. You turn on the TV, they got all that on the TV, man. So I can give me 1 second, fix this real quick. All right. Right. Now let's get back to the articles. I got another article. Let's do heart. Let's do the heart. Right? Because the heart thing. The heart thing comes from two Roman soldiers, right? Two homosexual Roman soldiers, right? Named Lucius Verenius and Titus Pulo. That's where that come from. And they were two homosexual Roman lovers, and it was a custom in Rome and Greece for the soldiers not to keep them away from their wives, right, or to keep them away from women, keep them always at war. Right, and they would have sex with each other. The Roman soldiers would have sex with each other because in the Roman mind state is that you will fight harder for someone that you love or someone that you're having sexual intercourse with, rather than somebody that you don't communicate with like that. So they want you to have sex. They used to make them put them together and keep them away from everybody, training and so forth, so they could have sex with each other, and that still goes on till this day in these Edomite armies, man. That still goes on to this day with these Edomite armies, right? But the story goes that Lucius Verenius was on the run from some people. Right, he was on the run from some people, and they were trying to kill him. So Titus Pulo, whatever his name is, I can't pronounce it. Titus Pulo loved him so much that he went to go kill the guy that was killing him, cut out his heart, and brought it back to Lucius Verenius. Right, they were wounded. He was wounded in battle, so he brought it back to Lucius Verenius. And Rome thought that was just so cool and so important that they started a custom where Roman soldiers would actually cut out the heart of their enemies and give it to their lovers. So that's where the whole ideal thing about giving a heart comes from. That's where the whole ideal about giving a heart comes from. Let me see if I can pull up these. Right, that's where the whole idea of giving a heart comes from. But then coming down the line later, right? Coming down the line later, a heart that you get now is shaped like a what would you call it? Like a woman's buttocks or a woman's breasts or a woman's breast, right? And that's what it symbolizes I was going to say 1800s, but it was like in the 1800s, 1700s, they have brothels, and you couldn't put whorehouse on the top of your brothel, or you couldn't put brothel to symbolize what it was, right? So they will have a heart shape there to not commemorate, but they'll have a heart shape there to symbolize what they were advertising: sex, breast, buttocks, right? Because it looks like a woman bent over. Let me see if I can pull up these pictures. It's been giving me a it's been giving me problems. Don't give me no problems. Oh man, come on now. Quit giving me problems. It's giving me problems. All right. Let's see if we can get. Oh man, hold on. I wonder if everybody can see that. Did everybody see that? Can everybody see that? Or am I just, man, what happened? Okay, so y'all can't see it. All right, let me. Y'all see that? How it's like, I forgot what it's, it'd be like a woman's buttocks and then a woman's breast right here. That's what it symbolizes. That's what it symbolizes. Symbolizes woman's buttocks and a woman's breast. All right, same thing. See how a woman's breast. They got all these different because they know where it comes from, man. They just want to sexualize it. So when your kids go giving hearts on Valentine's Day at school and everything like that, that's what they symbolize, and they're starting them out young. Let me see. All right, we good. We back. All right, yeah. So they're starting them out young. They're starting them out young to be sexually oriented, right? Now let's get into this. Let's get into this article, this history about the heart. So the heart, so the heart was actually a symbol for sexual activities going on in whorehouses. Can I say that? Whorehouses. Right? It says the history of the heart shape. Right? It says widely recognized as a symbol for love and affection. The heart, because they say love and affection because when you're intimate with somebody, have sex with somebody, that's what usually comes with it, right? In in the Bible, once you have sex with a person, you're married to that person, right? So of course, if you're married to that person, of course the love and the affection has to come with that marriage. But nowadays, when you have sex with somebody, you just jump from one person to the next, one person to the next. Then let's think about Valentine's Day, right? Everybody's gonna be having sex on Valentine's Day with different people or whatever, or whatnot, right, or what have you, right? And then they're just gonna a couple weeks later, they're gonna be on to the next one, and on to the next one, and on to the next one, and on to the next one. Right, and then they're gonna come back to the Valentine's Day again next year, and it's gonna be the same exact thing. Right, so there's no love and affection that goes with it. It's just a day for everybody to go a whoring, like any day. It says widely recognized as a symbol for love and affection. The heart shape has evolved over centuries. It may be hard to believe the double scalloped ideogram of the V shaped base hasn't been around forever, as these heart shapes are a constant in modern life. One of the most widely used emojis is the heart, right? Because that's one of the most widely used emojis is the heart, right? Because everybody want to love this and love that, and they just want to love everything, right? You can't love everything, man. It says, how did this ubiquitous symbol, which shows up everywhere from the text message to fine art, come to be? It says its evolution is unclear, but there are some theories. It says heart shapes were used in decorative art by ancient societies. One of the oldest examples is in Indus Valley civilization, pendant embossed with a heart-shaped fig leaf, heart-shaped fig leaf, ivy, fig, and water lily leaves were all used in art and heraldry. Ivy is often used as a symbol of fidelity. They're going right now. Let's look up the word fidelity. Let's see what fidelity means. We know what fertility means. Fertility means like the conceiving of a child, right? Sex, basically. Right now, let's look up fidelity. If fidelity, faithfulness on a person, cause of belief, demonstrated by continual loyalty and support. Right? It says sexual faithfulness to a spouse or a partner. It, the third definition, the degree of exactness. Oh man, the degree of the exactness with which something is copied or reproduced. Right? So that's what. So I like that second definition: sexual faithfulness to a spouse or a partner. Right. That's what fidelity is. Right. Or loyalty. Right. So that's what that's what they want to say. Valentine's Day is another thing. So it's all about relationships and love of another person and things like that, which is all BS. So it's just like Christmas, man. They want to use a day they want to use a day like, oh, this is the day that you love everybody, and this is the day, right? Or this is like Christmas. This is the day that you give gifts to everybody. You can give a gift any day of the week, any day of the year. You don't have to use that day to give gifts, and you don't even give them to the person. You give them to the tree. Think about it. It says another botanical theory involves Siri, a Cyrene, a state in northern Africa, so well known for its production of slithium, a species of giant fennel with culinary and medical and medicinal uses. That is heart-shaped seed pods were emblazoned and on their coins, thought to be a contraceptive. Silphium association with sex might have caused the heart shape to become associated with love, right? So it's just in Africa, in Cyrene, they was getting drugged up, having sex with each other, right? Because this the time around this time is when everything starts to grow back, it starts to bloom. Well, probably back then, but not now. Just the whole seasons and stuff is starting to change. Right, but that they said this was a time where they go pick up get the silphium, the silphium flower, silphium plant, right, and they set it on fire, and then it says silphium's association with sex might have caused the heart shape to become associated with love, right? There we go. Now we get into the meat of it. It says some think the heart shape is stylized depiction of human anatomy representing the curved shape of breast, buttocks, or genitalia. Right? Others think that inspired by ancient philosophers who believed the heart was the seat of the soul and the emotional center, and physicians such as Galen, the second century father of medicine, who described the heart as a three-chambered organ. As a three-chambered organ shaped like a pine cone. Right? So they were saying that the heart used to symbolize breast, right? Used to symbolize buttocks and genitalia. And then it says, and then it says, some of them say that the heart was the seat to the soul. Right? That's why I say, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Right? The Bible says, let me get this. Right? So they always using the heart this, the heart that, right? Talking about that's where you love from. No, you love from your mind. You love for your mind. This is what the Bible says about the heart. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 9. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things. Right? The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Right? Your heart is wicked. Your heart is wicked, black woman, black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American woman. Because you always say, I love them with my heart and this, that. Well, it says your heart is desperately wicked. Right? Your heart is desperately wicked. And it also means your mind. That's what the Bible's talking about. It means your mind. Right? Let's get back into this. It says, over time, heart shapes remain popular in decorative art and heraldry, but did not gain a strong connection with love until the 13th century. The medieval concept of courtly love led to more illustrations glorifying romance, often utilizing the heart shaped as a symbol for love. The first known depiction of heart shaped as a symbol of love was in the 1250s French manuscript, the Roman de la Poire, in which a young man holds his vaguely pine cone shaped heart up up towards his lady love. Up until the 14th century, the heart was usually depicted upside down. Right? I wish I had. Where's my? Oh man, upside down. It says this shifted to 15th century as the heart-shaped symbol came to resemble what we use today and become a suit of playing cards. All right. Understand that? Now let's get into where the arrow comes from, because now they got arrows, hearts, and right. Oh man, what? Now let's get Habakkuk 2:18. Let's get Habakkuk 2:18, because a heart is a graven image, man. It says, "What profited the graven image that the maker thereof hath graven it?" Right. So we all getting these hearts and making these hearts and Valentine's Day card hearts and giving it to people and stuff. Right. Here, take this heart, take that heart, heart. All right. If you don't take the heart, you're smart. Hey. It says, "What profited the graven image that the maker thereof have graven it? The molten image and teacher of lies," right? Teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusted therein to make dumb idols, man. Because that's a dumb idol, man. That's a dumb idol. Now it's going to be now they're going to have hearts all over their clothing and stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of it's going to be a lot of relationships this coming Valentine's Day, and then the next day it's not going to be no more relationships. They're just going to have relations. They're just going to have relations, man. It's not really love. It's really lust, man. It's really lust. It is woe unto him that say to the it says, "Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake, and to the dumb stone, arise. It shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver." Right? Because it's going to be laid over with gold and silver. I see a lot of people with what do you call it now? They'll go buy a chain and they'll have a half a heart, and then they give the girl the other half the heart. It make no sense, right? They be made with gold and silver, right? And there is no breath at all in the midst of it, right? There's no breath at all in the midst of it, man. It can't do nothing to you, man. It can't wake up. It can't help you out in no way, no how. Yeah, it's jewelry. It look good, but I mean, other than that, you just wasted your money. When you put it together as butt cheeks, you put it together as breast, you put it together as genitalia. All right. Now let's get this cupid thing, man. Oh, wait. Let's get the Roman soldier since we're talking about the heart. Right? It says the love lives of the Roman the love lives of the Roman soldiers. It says the first Roman emperor Augustus, right, prohibited his soldiers from marrying. The ban was it says okay. It says the first Roman emperor Augustus prohibited his soldiers from marrying. The ban was revoked only in 197 AD by Emperor Septimius Severus. Right, Severus lifted the ban to make the military profession more interesting for the new recruits and become soldiers, and because soldiers were getting involved in the rape of women, despite the ban. It says if a married man joined the Roman army, his marriage was annulled. Right, so if a man was married and then he joined the Roman army, his marriage was no more. His marriage was annulled. Where is it at, man? I'm looking. I got it. Okay. It says the Romans believed that marriage of the soldiers led to indiscipline, loss of warrior spirit, and moral deterioration. A soldier living with a wife was a soft, lazy, insubordinate, and ineffective. Where is it, man? I know it's around there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Here it is. The homosexuality among the Roman soldiers. It says some of the most militaristic Roman emperors, such as Emperor Trajan and Emperor Hadrian, were known for their lust for boys. Right? They were known for their lust for boys. The Roman military culture tolerated homosexuality. Homosexuality, defined by the gender of a sexual partner, didn't exist in Roman times. A person's sexuality was evaluated based on the role of each of the partners took during the sexual intercourse. It's horrible. I got to read that one more time. That is just, it's disgusting. Because homosexuality, defined by the gender of the sexual partner, didn't exist in Roman times. A person's sexuality was evaluated based on the role each of the partners took during sexual intercourse. The role could either active or passive. Active role being the penetrator and symbolized masculinity, and the passive role being penetrated symbolized femininity. It's horrible. This is nasty. It says it was acceptable for Roman soldiers to engage in sex with other men as long as he took the active role during the sexual intercourse. It says the Roman soldiers were no strangers to rape. Right, so they used to go rape young boys. Also, it's like I got something on my mind. They used to go rape young boys also, and they rape women. It said rape was a part of the war. From ancient times to the battlefields of the 20th century, armies raped women. The Roman army was no exception. The Roman soldiers raped women and young boys. This is just wicked, just wicked and weird. It says according to Roman law, the possibility of being charged with rape depended on the victim's social status. Forced sexual intercourse with slaves, prostitutes, and foreign women was not considered rape. Right, and they said it was on your status. So if you had money and was rich and all that, you probably wouldn't be raped. But the poor women, the poor young boys, they were being raped. They were being raped by the soldiers. Horrible. The Roman army was notorious for rapes during the war. For the Romans, war was always a total war, and everything was allowed. When the soldiers captured the enemy city, they were free to rape women and young boys. Right? The rape didn't serve only as instant sexual gratification and anger relief. It was also revenge for subjugation of the conquered people. Just like just like when blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans was in slavery, and they used to try to buck break the it's called buck breaking. Yeah, it's called buck breaking. When they would have sex, when they would rape the males in front of everybody, to take the biggest, strongest male that was always fighting back, and they'll rape him in front of everybody, his wife, his kids, and everything like that. Right? Just like, so it said it says the rape didn't serve only as instant sexual gratification and anger relief. It was also revenge and subjugation of the conquered people. Right? It was like subjugation. Like it was to break your mind. Basically, it was to break your mind to rape these young boys and to rape the women. You know what I mean? Because the men can't help you, so it was also to break their mind. And they used to rape the women in our captivities too. It said the best chances to avoid Salaki. The best chances to avoid being raped had those women who were attractive and could be sold as slaves. They defiled matrons, maidens, and freeborn boys. There remains no kind of crime, avarice. It says lust, avarice that has been overlooked in the case of any possible victim. Oh, that's it. Also, that's it. Now let's get a scripture. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. All right. This is for all the women that's going to go a whoring. And men too, whoremongers, yeah. That's going to go a whoring Valentine's Day, man. Don't be doing all that, man. Leave that day alone, man. Let the heathen go out and do it and keep heathen customs. The 14th, the February 14th this year is the Feast of Purim, man. That's spiritual. That's spiritual for it to fall for the Feast of Purim to fall on that day. You know what I mean? That's spiritual, man. That's spiritual. So it was just like Christmas and New Year and New Year's, right? It's just like Christmas and New Year's, man. The Lord is giving blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans a choice, man. It's giving you a choice to keep the laws of God, or you can keep the heathen customs. Either keep your customs, keep your custom, keep your faith, keep your nationality, keep your laws, what the Lord gave you to do, or you can do what the heathens do. Right? It's up to you. Just like Christmas. Christmas fell on the Lord's Sabbath day. Either you kept the Sabbath day or you kept Christmas. Right? Just like New Year's. New Year's fell on the Lord's Sabbath day. Either you kept the Lord's Sabbath day or you kept New Year's. The Lord is giving blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans a choice, and he's making you choose. Right? He's making you choose. I'm telling you, the Lord is making blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans choose which one you want to do. Which one do you want to do? He said you want to follow me and keep the customs I told you to keep, or you want to keep the heathen customs. That's what the Lord's doing. The Lord's trying to. The Lord's giving you a choice, and it's so close to World War III now. It's so close to Christ coming back now, man. The Lord is like, man, either make a choice. Either you can do this, or you can do that, or you can do that, or you can do this. But you can't do both. No man can serve two masters, man. That's what the Lord is saying. The Lord is saying no man can serve two masters. So either you're gonna serve the heathen gods, the heathen customs, or you're gonna serve me. That's what the Lord is saying. That's what the Lord is saying. That is exactly what the Lord is saying. The Lord is not making and he's not playing no games with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You think the Lord gonna play games with us? The Lord told Moses, the Lord told Moses 4,000 or 5,000 years ago that if you don't keep my customs, these curses are gonna fall upon you, right? 4,000 years later, the Lord came and collected on his debt, man. The Lord collected on that debt 4,000 years later. Y'all think the Lord playing? The Lord waited 4,000 years to collect his debt, man. The Lord waited 4,000 years. You know how long 4,000 years is? A long time. Very, very long time. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. It says, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. There should be no whores of the daughters of Israel, man. Everybody going out a whoring, all these OnlyFans and private snaps or what was it? Is it private snaps? Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what it's called. Private snaps and all these different websites where they're selling their body at, right? You don't do that, black woman, Hispanic woman, Native American woman. Right? You need the black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, because there's all these gigolos out here, all these whoremongers out here that just have sex with women, leave women. Nope. We don't do that, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. It says, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel's, right? Don't be doing the homosexual activities either. None of these homosexual activities, none of these, and that's a heathen custom, man. That's what heathens do. I just read it for you. We just read the article in about Rome and the Roman soldiers having sex with each other, and then they used to go rape the young boys out of the where they conquered them at. They used to go rape the young boys. We just brought that out. I just brought that out, man. Right. And it says, thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore or the price of a dog into the house of the Lord thy God for any vow, for even both these are abomination unto the Lord thy God. All right. Next scripture we're going to get. Let's go get Proverbs 3:31. Should I get the next article? Yeah, let's get the next article. Wait. We're going to hold off on that. We're going to get the next article about Cupid. We're going to see where Cupid comes from and where he gets his name from and the history of that. You got to remember that it was called the Greco-Roman Empire because Rome came out of Greece. I'm going to break some history down. So Alexander had 4 generals, right? And when Alexander died, he had 4 different kingdoms that sprout up out of his kingdom, right? So he had one in Egypt, one in the Middle East, one in Greece and Macedonia and Greece, and then he had one in Rome. Rome wasn't called Rome then, but that's where the start of it came from. So Rome actually comes out of Greece. So they got the same type of gods, or the same type of worship that they were doing. It's like, It says, who is Cupid, and how did he become the unofficial mascot of Valentine's Day? It says the mention of Cupid typically conjures up images of the cherub, of the cherubic infant, wielding a bow and arrow, but this wasn't always the case. Long before the Romans adopted and renamed him, and way before his associations with Valentine's Day, Cupid was known to the Greeks as Eros, the handsome god of love. Eros, the handsome god of love. But that's where they get the word erotic from, right? And that's why they tie erotic to love. You know, like the erotic love, like they have erotic sex, like have erotic sex and things like that. And that's where they get the correlation between erotic and love. All right, everybody get that? Eros. It says Cupid and Greek mythology, and they're that's why it's called mythology. Let's get this word myth, because it's not real. We're gonna get the myth definition. Yeah, because it's not real, and you could tell by the way that the way Eros was messing with the gods' emotions, their Greek mythology gods' emotions, they're just so weak. That's what they would call it. So I'm gonna call it weak. They gods seem weak. You know what I'm talking about? They guys don't seem strong. They guys don't seem like tough. They guys seem weak. You know what I'm talking about? Weakish. It's a traditional story, especially a traditional story, especially one concerning the early history of a people, explaining some natural or social phenomenon, and typically involving supernatural beings or events. That's what the word myth means. It says widely held but false belief or ideas. Right? Widely held but false belief or ideas. So it says Cupid and Greek mythology. It says one of the first authors to mention Eros was Circe in 700 BC. Was Hesiod, who described him in Theogony. Sorry, as one of the primeval cosmogonic deities born of the world egg, but later accounts of the lineage of Eros vary, describing him as the son of Nyx and Erebus, or Aphrodite and Ares. Right, so he's the son of Aphrodite and Ares, or Iris and Zephyrus, or even Aphrodite and Zeus, who would have been both his father and grandfather. It's disgusting. How can he be his father and his grandfather? You know what that means? Zeus was having sex with his daughter or something like that. That's just disgusting. You feel me? So like that's the type of gods that these heathen nations worship. That's the type of gods that these heathen nations worship. As in us taking on their their hell days, or what they believe is what their hell days, right? That's what we actually start to worship. We start to worship those Greek gods. So so if you believe it in Cupid or Valentine's Day, right? You believe in a god that's a son and a grandson of the same man, same person, or something like that. That's disgusting. You believing on the incest god. Let me say it like that: the incest god. Right. It says armed with a bow and a quiver filled with both golden arrows and to arouse desire, and leading arrows to ignite aversion, right? So he got golden arrows to the for so if he want to make you fall in love with somebody, but he got leaden arrows to make you to make you fall out of love, right? His arrows struck at the hearts of gods and mortals and played with their emotions. In one story from ancient Greek mythology, right, which was later retold by Roman authors, Cupid slash Eros shot a golden arrow at Apollo, who fell madly in love with the nymph Daphne. If you know anything about Greek mythology, right, did any research about Greek mythology, Apollos was the sun god, right? He was the like equivalent of Ra in ancient Egypt. So he was the sun god. He was the one of the most powerful gods out there, right? Right? And Cupid hit him with an arrow, and he fell in love with Daphne. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's just that's nonsense. That's nonsense. So you telling me Apollo's there's a god out there that's stronger than him that can hit him with an arrow and he fall in love, and they guys seem weak, bruh. They guys seem kind of garbage. You feel me? Y'all guys are garbage. Like, that's a garbage story. Like, feel me? Apollo should have burnt it up with his eyes or something. Like, I don't know. They got garbage gods, bro. Fell madly in love with Daphne, but then launched a leaden arrow at Daphne, so she would be repulsed by him. Right, so he shot Apollos with a golden arrow, and Apollos fell in love. Then he shot Daphne with a leaden arrow, and she was like, "I don't." And she couldn't. She was repulsed by him. She couldn't stand him. She couldn't stand Apollo. So Apollos was in love with Daphne, and Daphne was like, "I don't like you." That's what I'm saying. That sounds so weak. So that sounds effeminate, man. It says Cupid and Psyche. In another allegory, Cupid's mother, Venus, well, Aphrodite, became so jealous of the beautiful mortal Psyche that she told her son to induce Psyche to fall in love with a monster. Instead, Cupid became in, enamored, enamored with Psyche, that he married her with the condition that she could never see his face. Eventually, Psyche's curiosity got the better of her, and she stole a glance, causing Cupid to flee in anger. After roaming the known world in search of her lover, Psyche was eventually reunited with Cupid and granted the gift of immortality. It just sounds like a horrible movie on Paramount, a horrible movie on New Line Cinema. Like, it just, and that's what they liked. All right, now I'm about to tell you about Valentine's Day cards. It says in poetry of the archaic period, Eros was represented as a studly immortal who was irresistible to both man and gods. But by the Hellenistic period, he was increasingly portrayed as a playful, mischievous child because of his associations with love. 19th century Victorians credited the popularization of Valentine's Day and given the holiday its romantic spin, began depicting this cherub version of Cupid on Valentine's Day cards, in a trend that is persisted until this day. We're going to get the history of Valentine's Day cards and get a couple more scriptures. It says in the Victorian era, it says rather than expressing love and affection, these cards were designed to offend. In the Victorian era, and into the 20th century, lovers exchanged elaborate lace-trimmed cards on Valentine's Day, expressing their undying love and devotion with sentiments and poems. For those not on good terms or who wanted to fend off an enemy or unwanted suitor, Vinegar Valentines offered a stinging alternative. To my Valentine, 'tis a lemon that I hand you to, to bid you and skidoo. All right. Do some more scripture. Let's get Proverbs chapter 3 and 31. Proverbs chapter 3 and 31. It says, envy thou not the oppressor. Right? It says, don't envy the oppressor, man. Don't want to go out and have orgies and all this extra stuff that they be doing, man. That means nothing. That means nothing. These orgies that they have is just a way to spread disease, man. Spread coronavirus. That's what it spreads. That's what it spreads, man. It spreads coronavirus, man. It spreads all these different diseases, man. Sexually transmitted diseases, man. That's all these orgy days do, man. That's what they do. Right? So don't be trying to, oh, that seems fun. No, it don't, man. No, it don't. Leave the whoring to the other nations, man, to the heathen women, man. All right? Leave them to the other nations, man. Because that's the reason why we in captivity anyway, is because we don't listen to our power, man. And we don't listen to our power, and we listen to everybody. We listen to all the other nations. We do everything that the other nations do. When we need to be doing what our power does, what our power tells us to do, which is the Feast of Purim coming up on the 14th and 15th. But we are stiff-necked and rebellious children, man. We're stiff-necked and rebellious children, man. We got the only power. We got the only power in the world that we got the only power in the world, right? That's living power, man. All these other guys, all these other guys that these other nations worship, their gods are fake idols. They don't do anything. But our God created the heavens and the earth, man. The whole fact that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are in the place that they're at now is the fact that our God is a living power, man. Because they can do whatever they want to over there, and their God ain't gonna do nothing, right? When we do whatever we want to, when we do our own thing, our power, he punishes us, man. He punishes us like a good father does. He punishes us, man. That's why we're on punishment till this day, right? So it says, "Envy thou not the oppressor," right? And choose none of his ways. Don't choose his Valentine's Day. Don't choose his Christmas. Don't choose his Easter. Don't choose his smoking weed. Don't choose his whoredom. Don't choose his homosexuality. Don't choose none of those things, man. Don't choose none of those things, man, because all those things leads up to our death, man, our hell, our captivity. So it says choose none of his ways, man. Don't choose his voting. Right? Don't choose his pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. Don't choose none of that, man. Don't choose his Easter. Don't choose none of these things, man. Don't choose his 4th of July. None of these things. All right, we have customs that we must keep, Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. Right? Let's get Deuteronomy. Now we're gonna move. Let's move on to the next scripture. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30. Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30. It's on my forehead. Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30. All right. The book of Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30. It says, take heed to thyself, right? That thou be not snared by following them. Right? It said, don't be snared up, don't be tripped up, don't get tricked out of your position of being the greatest people on the planet by following these other nations, man. Don't get tricked out of your position. Don't get tripped up, man. When you go to the store and see all those Valentines days and cards and all that, man, don't get tripped up. And don't let your kids get tripped up either. Don't let your kids get tripped up going to school talking about, mommy, I got Valentines. Throw that Valentines in the trash. Burn that thing. Throw it in the fireplace. Good firewood. Good firewood, I guess. Right? It says, take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. Right? Because you don't want to follow these other nations, man. After that, they be destroyed before thee. Right? Because when you don't follow them, they be destroyed before thee. When you follow the Lord, they get destroyed before thee. Right? And that thou inquire not after their gods. Right? Don't inquire after Lupercalia. Don't inquire after Cupid and Eros. Don't inquire after them, man. Don't inquire that Valentine's Day. Right? It's a saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Right? Don't be worried about how these nations serve their gods, man. They serve their gods by having big sex orgies in Comitium. By having big sex orgies in Comitium, man. That's how they serve their gods, man. By picking names out the jar to go, y'all go have sex. That's how they serve their gods. Don't worry about how they serve their gods, man. It says, even so will I do likewise. Right? Because that's what you'll say. Even though I would, even so I'll do likewise. You're like, how y'all do that? Oh, y'all do that? We wouldn't do that too. It's just like when we had a king. I mean, when we didn't have a king, the people wanted a king because everybody else had a king. Everybody else had a king, so Israel just had to have a king. We just had to be like the other nations. So we asked for a king, and he gave us a king. The Lord gave us a king. Verse 31, it says, thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God, for every abomination to the Lord, which he hateth, have they done unto their gods. Right? Because they do every despicable thing unto their gods. So then we're going to feel like, oh, we could do that to our power. No, we can't do that to our power. When we do that to our power, we get it in, we go in slavery on cargo slave ships. Right? The Native Americans, the so-called Native Americans get their whole land taken from them, and they get a little piece of land to live on. Right? We get called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. That's what happens, man. Right? We got brothers and sisters in Haiti making mud pies, food out of mud cookies. Real talk, man. For even their sons and their daughters, they have burnt into the fire to their gods, right? Because their gods would be like, oh, sacrifice your kids. Sacrifice, you know what I'm talking about? And they do it. They do it like the Celts had where they used to sacrifice kids on Halloween. Where they used to sacrifice kids on Halloween, man. To their god, to their winter solstice. They did, man. And then verse 32 says, what thing soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. Right? So whatever the Lord told us to do, it's solidified, man. And the Lord is very specific on The Lord is very specific on what to do and what not to do. The Lord, he's not a. It's not a leave it up to chance and leave it up to guess, man. It's not a leave it up to chance and leave it up to guess, man. Like with the like with the law about pork. See, we say pork because people ain't out there eating camels. You know what I mean? So but they out there eating pig, right? But the Lord don't say the Lord says don't eat pork, but he's get very specific, like cloven footed, that split the hoof, that chews the cud. You know what I mean? It's very specific. No man talks like this. No man talks like this. No man's gonna go. No man is out there in the woods hungry, like before we eat that, we got to make sure it's, you know what I'm talking about. Got to make sure it's cloven foot. Cloven it got hooves on its feet, and it split the hoof, and make sure it chews the cud. No man is out there doing that unless they get instruction to do that. That's why over there in Arabia, or with the over there in the Middle East, they eat the camels. Right? That's why over there in China they eat the birds. Right? They eat the bird, or not the birds, but they eat the bats, the pangolin, and all that. That's why they eat all that weird stuff. Shrimp, crab, pork, lobster. That is weird. You know what I mean? Why you want to eat anything that eats boo-boo? You feel me? The shrimp, the crab, all that cleans the ocean. Why you want to eat that? Because the oppressor told you to. That's the only reason why. If the oppressor didn't tell you to eat the shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster, you didn't see them do it, and you wouldn't do it. But since they do it, hey, calamari, people eat calamari, man, which is like squid. You know, black folks don't know what squid. Black folks don't know nothing about eating squid. But they'll go do it. Why? Because the oppressor does it. The oppressor says that. The oppressor says it. Let's get Exodus chapter 20. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. It says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." Right? The Lord said you shouldn't have no other gods before him. Not Lupercalia, not the Christmas God, not the Easter God, not Christmas, not the Christmas tree God. No other gods before him. Right? It says, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above." Right? Ain't Cupid like trying to be? It's supposed to be something that's in heaven above. Right? That's what Cupid's supposed to be, but we know that's not. We know that's not right. Right? What about that heart? Ain't that heart a graven image? Right? Maybe, you know what? When they be having those little Edomite baby angels, that's like a form of Cupid. That's like a form of Cupid. I've never read in the Bible where there's a baby angel. You know what I'm talking about? All the angels in the Bible be looking ferocious, looking like if I bumped into them, I'd be terrified. Oh my goodness, what is that? You know what I'm talking about? Oh my goodness, what's that big 9 feet tall things with 4 faces, eyes all over it? I'm like, you going in there? Yeah, you know what I mean? Where are they getting this all these little baby angels and little baby butt naked angels with these little wings, because the angels got huge, big wings. You know what I'm talking about? So these little baby wings, and you know what I'm talking about, flying around, playing harps. Where are they getting these from? I know the angels probably play harps. The angels, you know what I'm talking about? But where is they getting the little baby Edomite angels at? Looking like Cupid. Right? It says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Right. The Lord said he's a jealous God. The Lord said he's a jealous God. You don't bow down to him. I mean, you don't bow down to these other gods. The Lord is a jealous God, man. We make the Lord jealous when we go worship these other nations, when we go do these things that's not in our culture, do these things that the Lord didn't tell us to do. We make the Lord jealous. The Lord be angry. And that makes the Lord angry. And every woman should understand that. Black, Hispanic, and Native American woman should understand that. Because they want to be, when they're in a relationship with a man, they want to be the only one. You better not look at her. You know what I'm saying? They want to be the only one loved. They want to be the only one. So that's how the Most High is. The Most High wants to be the only one that you listen to. Right? He gave us life. He gave us life. He gave us them laws, statutes, and commandments to follow. He gave us a heritage. He gave us instructions to be the greatest people on this planet. But since we don't want to be the greatest people on this planet and we don't follow those instructions, we're gonna die like men. We're gonna die like heathen nations, man. We're gonna die like regular old, like regular old Clarence, regular old Tyrone, regular old Darnell, regular old Shaniqua. When we should be dying like princes and princesses of the power, man. We should be dying like princes and princesses of the power, man. Real talk. Now we're going to end with Psalms 9. We're going to move on to Psalms 96, verses 4. The book of Psalms, chapter 96, verse 4. For the Lord is great. Right. Because the Most High is great. The Most High is great. That's the only reason why Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans can be great, because the Lord made us great. Because the Lord gave us his laws, his instructions to make us great. And greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods, right? Because we should fear the Lord above all gods. We shouldn't just fear we should fear the Lord. We should be worried about not celebrating Valentine's Day and not celebrating Christmas. That can't do nothing to us. But the Lord can make sure we don't get the kingdom. The Lord can make sure we don't get the kingdom, make sure our kids don't get the kingdom, and our kids don't get the kingdom. The Lord can make sure of that, man. The Lord can make sure of that. Right? It says, verse 5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. Right? All the gods of the heathen nations are idols, man. All of the gods of the heathen nations are idols, man. Allah, an idol. Ra, an idol. Anubis, an idol. Eros, an idol. Cupid, an idol. Zeus, an idol. All these other nations, all the other gods are idols. Buddha statues, idols. They're idols, man. They're all idols. It says, but the Lord made the heavens. But the Lord power Yahweh, he made the heavens, man. He made the heavens, the earth, the waters, the land, man. The Lord made all that, man. You can give responsibility of everything you have to the Lord. Everything good that happens in your life, you can put that on the Lord. Everything bad that happens in your life, you can put that on yourself, man. Put that on us, because we're not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But the Lord is just testing you anyway, testing us anyway. When we go through tribulation, we go through trials and tribulation. Man, the Lord is just testing us, because He don't want no weak Israelites in the kingdom. Let me say that He don't want no weak Israelites in the kingdom. He don't want nobody weak in the kingdom. Everybody who want in the kingdom, He want to be battle proven, tough, wartime brothers and sisters that are strong and able to overcome their demons. That's what He wants. All right. So y'all stay away from that Valentine's Day this week coming up, man. Keep the Feast of Purim, man. That's on Monday. The Feast of Purim is on Monday too. So there's two things happening on Monday. You know, I'm talking about, pick one. The Lord either wants you to choose Valentine's Day, or the Lord wants you to choose the Feast of Purim. And I'm pretty sure He wants you to pick the Feast of Purim, Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. I'm pretty sure He wants you to pick the Feast of Purim, man. He don't want you to celebrate Valentine's Day, man. He don't want to punish us, but He will. All right. And with that, we're the I.S.U.P.K. Start out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And we've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth since 1969. And we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. With that, shalom.